What does it feel to? How does it feel to tank? Will you still have WoW tutorials for the boss? No, that's about WoW. Yes, I will still have WoW tutorials, even though that question has nothing to do with Rift. While not a question, I want to see some endgame stuff. Yes, we will get to that too. Man, Pinecone Demon? There's Pinecone Demons? That's awful. Pinecone Demon is asking questions about all sorts of things. Alright, what he wants to know is what it feels like to tank. The rest of it is garbage. Alright, what does it feel like to tank? I can answer that. I think Chris should answer that, though, because he's the tank.
Whatever, Rageheart's the best tank out of all of us, and he's awesome.
Rageheart is the best.
I mean, tanking's sweet. I love to tank. I used to play a caster and sit back there and just crank out mad DPS, which is fun, but DPS people are lazy, and I don't like to be lazy. I like to be the center of attention, and that's why I tank. But I mean,
I can't wait to hear the flames we get for that comment.
As soon as you don't, I know, right? As soon as you don't hold aggro and like somebody dies, I mean, everybody's pissed off at you too. So I mean, you can be having a bad night tanking and it sucks. I mean, but I love the tank. I love in there pulling the mobs, waiting from the split, and holding aggro on everything and micromanaging all that little stuff. So.
And I have never, and Chris will probably give me crap for this, but I've never tanked before, ever. And early on when I was tanking, I was having fun. I may not be the best at it, but I was having fun. There's a lot of stuff to do as a tank. Like, you don't just spam a taunt over and over and over again. You have to do a ton of stuff to, like, actually hold aggro.
You mean like a ton of stuff to do when you were mining that ore in the dungeon when the one guy was dying and I was trying to frantically heal him? Is that what you mean by a lot of stuff to do?
I don't recall. Let's move on to the next question.
I think we should add another question in there too, since nobody asked it. Is how does it feel to heal in this game?
Oh my god, I hate it. It is horrible. It's intensive in this game. Like, if you have a bard in the group, it's fine. The bard heals. They
move closer to your mic, knucklehead. You're like 10 feet away now.
I'm actually right next to my mic.
All right, now you're fine.
I must just have to turn my head because of the other mic in the room. Honestly, the healing in the game isn't crazy, but there's times where the amount of just random burst DPS from a boss doesn't make any sense. I went through a expert last night, and we killed all the bosses all the way up to the end boss, and then the end boss is hitting me for 6808, and I have 4,300 hit points. I mean, it was insane. We spent 2 hours on the final boss in that place, and we could not kill her. I mean, within the first 10 seconds of the fight, I had to burn every cooldown to keep the tank up, and that's ridiculous.
Hold on.
And on another note with that too, I mean, as far as tanking and healing, I think one of the problems is I play with Mike a lot, and I get really spoiled. I mean, he's probably one of the best healers I've ever seen, and I'm sure his EP's growing right now because of that. But it really is true. And when I get in another group, because I'm used to Mike backing me up, we can literally do just about anything within reason. And he knows how to play his tune. And all you other healers out there really should take a lesson from him.
Damn.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Damn.
Healing's hard. I've played a healer a little bit, but there's just a lot to it, and they don't get enough credit. I mean, tanking DPS is easy. You just sit there and push buttons. But I mean, healers, it's always harder to heal. And I don't care what MMO you're in. If you're in WoW or Vanguard or Rift, I mean, it's harder. It just seems like in this MMO, it's like even ridiculously harder.
That's honestly why I didn't play a healer, because I've been a healer in every MMO I've ever played, and I gotta be honest with you, healers are treated like shit in every MMO.
Oh yeah,
and
it's not, if you wipe, it's the healer's fault.
It's always the healer's fault, and everything a healer does, healers have to have the biggest balls on the planet and be willing to take a ton of shit.
Well, but then you add on the fact of when you kill a boss, great tanking, great
DPS, yeah.
Great
Screw the healers, yeah, exactly.
Great healing with the clutch heal that saved the raid. I mean, there's never that.
Yeah, I once saw him, and this is the truth because I was tanking. I once saw him heal an entire raid while everybody was recovering mana, and he was drunk. He was mad, and because the guild leader was running the raid, he's talking shit and typing on his keyboard while he's healing the raid, and it was just completely ridiculous. And
But that's what he does.
So wasted. It was great. And the talking shit while I was wasted, but I literally healed the entire raid and kept them up while talking shit, and it was the highlight of
2 more inches.
Yeah.
All right, enough of the EPing. Let's move on. We still got a bunch of questions to get to. Do destroying rifts get repetitive? Because he wants to know if it's the exact same routine every time. This is PJD LOL.
I don't know. From what I've seen, there's different events in rifts. But for repetitive, yeah, you go pew pew the bad guys and seal the rift.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not really any more repetitive than like a dungeon, is it? I mean, if you think about it, what are you doing? You're going around pew pewing the bad guys and getting the main guy at the end.
I
Plus
like the rifts.
The situations change every time too. For example, each rift has a set theme. Like you could for undead rifts, for example, there's like the vampire bat rift. There's the one where it's like the old soldiers. There's like a town one that's like this undead town that rises out of the ground. There's super powerful rifts, but each one has its own theme and its own boss at the end. And so, for example, there's one boss where he runs around to different power supply things, and you have to destroy the power supplies to kill him. There's one where he explodes and little guys spawn out of him. There was one rift that the boss.
Remember when you got him? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Remember this, Mike? I don't think Chris was there for this. There's one rift where the boss was the 1,000 zombies. Remember that?
Yeah, that was the world event, and
that was epic. There was like
Forge or whatever.
These zombies just kept appearing out of nowhere, and that you had to kill every single one. That was the final battle.
That was pretty sweet, though.
There's different ways you go about it, but I mean, if you're talking just a plain everyday rift that isn't an invasion, it's pretty much, seal it, collect the loot. However, you can run past them. You don't even have to engage them. So really, it doesn't hurt anybody. What were you going to say, Chris?
Nothing. Never mind.
Oh, damn.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You guys kind of answered it, so it doesn't matter.
Magic for Magic with a 1 in it says, how high do we hit? Is it pretty balanced? And is PvP any fun? All right, let's do the first one first. What's the highest you've ever hit in the game?
I think
I
on
assume this is
Ronin,
DPS.
I got 1,200 on a massive crit, but I think I was empowered. It was a Rift invasion.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the level we're at, I'm trying to think what the average white swing is. Like 300, 400, something like that. Like, I've crit above 1,000 before on 2 separate, like I dual wield, so I'll go like crit 1,000, crit 1,000. Like, I think that's the highest I've gotten. So I guess you would call that 2,000 or something like that. But that's because, we have super buffs. Like, with Mike's buffs and Chris's buffs and my buffs, the game has so many damn classes in it that you can have like a million freaking buffs in your character. And so, I don't know. I think our crits are in the 1,000 range now.
Yeah, but those are high end. Normal crits
Yeah.
are like 700s, and it also depends what level the mob is you're fighting. If it's a lower level mob, you crit higher and harder. So
Plus, we don't have any high-end gear. I mean, we're just got basic level 50 stuff right now.
Yeah, we have a few greens and blues, but they're just hit level 50 stuff. So this is nothing like... You guys will see our end game progression. We'll record all that stuff. We'll record the legendary dungeons or whatever they're called, and we'll record the raid stuff. So don't worry, you'll see all that. But, yeah, right now we have what we got when we got it.
what was the other part?
Is it pretty balanced? They've tried to balance it, but there are like a few classes that are ridiculously OP. Like right now, bards, I hate to say it, I think bards are the best healers in the game. Bards and chloromancers are ridiculous when it comes to healing.
Well,
because their
it's
heals
not
are based
that
off
they're the best
attacks.
healer. They're the best group healers, but you have to realize that the bard cadence, which is basically what's healing you, is only doing like 130 life damage or something. It doesn't like stack up with the better gear that you have. Like I'm doing 138 life damage over 2 seconds. So that's what I heal, and then you can do your finishing attack, which is, maybe it'll crit for 300 for a heal, and you have an instant heal every minute that's like, 500. They can't actually heal a boss, but they can heal trash probably without a problem as long as they're on their game.
In general.
I actually think paragons are way overpowered, but I'm not even going to complain about that since I am in fact one. So
Although
keep up the good work.
For the bard healing last night when we ran the last dungeon, I ended up getting locked out of the final boss in CC, And between the bard and the other cleric support healing, they actually finished the encounter. But Chris is also Judicar, so he was healing himself. They managed to do it. 2 people died, but they got it done.
Yeah, I think some of the, like, Pyromancer, I think, is super OP, and I think there's another class that is a cleric. It's the cleric, like, straight up cleric healer, and they're really in PvP situations. You cannot kill them. Like, they just keep spamming heals on themselves.
I'm
Well,
proof of that last night when I went.
All right,
to
fine.
PvP.
Then I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about. So it's
Well,
it's
no, like,
completely
they have all
balanced.
these
The
silence
game is balanced. It's
statues.
complete. No, the question game is balanced. It's completely balanced. You don't even have to ask it. Is it worth the money? Yeah, sure. Yes, it is. We said that before. Is PvP fun? I think it's fun. There's one called the Battle of Port Sion that is freaking epic. You know what it is? It's old school AV. It's not this new Alterac Valley crap. It's the old school one where there's mobs in there with the PvPers. Love it. I love that battleground. Or I think it's called a Warfront. That is fun. The Defiant side, when it comes to this one that we have to get the Fang of Regulos, whatever that one's called, the Black Garden, I think. The Defiant sucks. I don't care what you say. Seriously, the whole purpose is to get this Fang and hold on to it. Whoever holds on to it longest wins, right? The problem is that the people on the Defiant side are like, let's kill guys, and they just run around and kill people and don't even try to win. It's heartbreaking. I just want to quit the game sometimes when I play that. But the other ones we're a little better at. The Battle of Port Sion is just epic. That's all I'll say about that. Maybe we'll do a video in the future.
Do I have to play a healer? Because when I did last night,
No.
They summoned me the entire time.
You're gonna go on Ronin, and we're just gonna PvP the crap out of people and DPS them down. Yeah, don't you worry, we'll kick ass on that. You know what? Since we're on this subject, Child Prodigy asks, "What class Soul Tree would you recommend for someone who likes caster DPS?"
Oh, Pyromancers. The only thing is with the Elementalist, your pet is pretty beefy. So if you do, I don't know, probably 24 points into Elementalist and the rest into Pyromancers, you're going to bust out some massive DPS, but you're going to be able to heal your pet, and your pet's going to be beefier than just
and your
standard.
pet will tank. The rock guy will tank for you. So yeah, I mean, I would say go Mage and then go Pyromancer, Elementalist, and then what would you say for the last one? I don't even know. You wouldn't put any points into it. You just get the basic starting stuff.
I mean, maybe go with something for CC. Like, I don't know. I just went Elementalist, Pyromancer on mine. I didn't even pick a third soul, but that's just me.
Funny thing is you really don't have to, too, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, the game's like that. You don't have to. All right. All right, here's a question. So what is what is lore like? Is it engaging as Warcraft pre-Kata or what? I would say it has the exact same style of lore as pre-Kata WoW. It's there, and actually I'd say it's a little bit better because there's plot lines that go through every questing zone, and they culminate at the very end. Like in original WoW, you'd have little stories here and there, but it was kind of off the wall over the place. So once again, this is one of those better than original WoW, worse than Kata situations. Like Kata, the lore is massive. They like went all lore all the time. And in this, it's better than original WoW, but not as great as Kata. So again, it's sort of in the middle. You guys have anything you want to add to that, or that seems pretty right?
Yeah, you hit it.
All right. Next question. What were the dungeons like from 1 to 50? How were they?
Repetitive with killing undead, but I liked them.
That's the situation I had. I thought the exact same thing, too. Apparently on the Guardian side, they're all over the place, but when you play as a Defiant, Iron Tombs is you go to the Iron Tomb to stop Owlsbeth from resurrecting the dead, who are going to fight for her. The next one is the Deep Strike Mines. Owlsbeth is in there, causing drama with the undead, resurrecting them to dig stuff for her. The next one was Undead. That was in the Scarlet Gorge. The Undead are trying to control stuff in there, right? I mean, even if the zone has nothing to do with the undead, the Defiant seem to get the undead. Like, apparently that's our storyline, so, I mean, it makes sense story-wise, like I've said a million times before. I just don't like it. It kind of annoys me. Then, of course, you get the Elf War, which isn't undead, and then you get... I'm trying to think of what the other ones were. You get different cultists, like the fire cult and the water ice one, and then the final one is the final raid is the elf war again. So I guess it's the first 3, but I can understand how that'd be very taxing if you're just starting out and you're like, why is everything undead? Jesus, like I can understand that. What'd you think, Chris? Did you think it was anything special or sucky?
He's talking about the dungeons.
Yeah, I know.
What the hell were you doing? What was Chris doing? Be honest, what was he doing? What?
I was looking over my spec.
Oh,
I'm
you
sorry.
suck. All right.
You know,
Way to
I like
participate.
killing undead. I don't. The repetitiveness of that doesn't really bother me. I like killing undead. I don't. I just like it. It's like killing Nazis in Wolfenstein. I mean, you know.
It's hard not to like it, is what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? Everyone loves killing Nazis. All right, that makes sense. Let's get to this next question, because this one we can definitely answer really easily.